with Woodworker's Journal magazine. If you saw the first in our two-part series on building this Adirondack chair, you know that we did some template routing, drove plenty of screws to make the seat frame, and installed our 4 legs. Now in this second part of the series, we'll build the back support for the chair, add the arms, and finish this project up. Now let's jump right in. Rip and cross-cut a pair of workpieces for the upper and lower back frames. For the upper back frame, use a compass to round the back corners with 2-inch radii curves. Now that we've drawn the radiuses on the back corners of our upper back frame piece, it's time to draw the broad inside radius that will give our back slats that nice smooth curvature. There's 1 radius on the upper back frame piece and 1 radius on the lower back frame piece. And the right tool to use for that job is a trammel. It's really nothing more than an oversized compass. You clamp a pencil in one end, and there's an adjustable point on the other end. This particular one has a piece of dowel in between, and that's what gives it its adjustability. What's important for the upper back frame piece is that you set your trammel so that the distance from point to point is 23 inches. That's the radius that we want to draw. Now, to help me establish the swing point for my trammel, I mounted my upper back frame piece with a couple pieces of double-sided tape to a piece of scrap MDF that I have. And I bisected my upper back frame piece and drew a perpendicular line along my MDF. Now I know that the deepest part of my curve is 2.5 inches back, that's the apex. So I started from that point and marked another mark 23 inches away. Now I know exactly where to place my point of my trammel. So all you need to do is locate that point and go ahead and swing your arc. Now that my upper back frame piece is done, I can pop this one off, mount my lower back frame piece in the same jig, change my trammel to 15.5 inches instead, that's the radius that we want on the lower back frame piece, and go ahead and draw that second curve. Cut the curves on both back frame pieces with the jigsaw just outside your layout lines. Smooth and refine the curves up to your layout lines with an oscillating drum sander or with sanding drums on the drill press. With that done, attach the upper and lower back frames to the chair with countersunk 2-inch screws. The lower back frame piece simply sits in its notch in the back frames. Align the front edge of the upper back frame piece with the front inside corners of the legs. It helps to tack this piece in place with a couple of pneumatic brads to hold it temporarily while you drive the attachment screws. Next, create a 32-inch long template for the back slats. It tapers from 2 3/4 inches to 2 inches. Cut it with a tapering jig on the table saw or with a circular saw guided by a straight edge, as we show here. Trace the template shape onto 7 back slat blanks and cut the slats to rough shape with the jigsaw. Then step over to your router table and template route the slats clean and to final shape with a flush trim bit. The top ends of the slats need to be shaped into a gentle 21-inch radius curve. So group them together on your workbench with the ends aligned and clamp them up. Draw the top curve with your trammel so the pencil intersects the top end of the middle slat. Use a jigsaw to cut this curve to shape and sand it smooth to remove all of the saw marks. Now take a few minutes to soften all the back slat edges with a 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch roundover bit in your router. You don't want to have splinters here. Ease the ends of the slats first, then route the long edges. This way, any tear out made with the cross grain cuts will be cleaned up by the long grain passes. Attach the longest middle back slat to the back frame pieces first. Center it on the frames and align its bottom edge flush with the bottom face of the lower back frame. Attach it with a single countersunk screw to each of these frames. Then position the rest of the back slats. Their spacing at the upper back frame should be about 3/8 inch, but only 1/8 inch at the lower back frame. Tack the slats with a single brad nail into each of the back frame pieces to hold the slats in position. Now bend a flexible strip of wood along the midpoint of the upper back frame to lay out a line for the attachment screws. Then follow with a pair of countersunk wood screws in each slat to fix them permanently. You may have noticed that when I was installing the back slats, I was standing them on something. Here's what I did. I clamped a scrap to the lower back frame to serve as a ledge. It became a helpful third hand for that operation. But keep one thing in mind. Because the back slats are tapered, when you put them all together, the bottom edges are actually going to form a gentle curve. And if you stand those on your ledge, it's going to throw this top curve all out of whack. What you need to do is trim the 3 slats on either side of the center slat so all the slats form a straight line again. That way you can set them on your ledge, you'll preserve this top curve, you can position them just the way that you want to, and fasten them. First, use your arm template to trace 2 arms onto wide stock and cut the arms out with a jigsaw. Cut out the notches where the arms fit against the legs. Now template route the arms to final shape just as you did previously with the seat frames and back slats. Remove the templates and soften all of the sharp edges of the arms with a roundover bit, either in a handheld router or at the router table. To position the arms on the legs, first draw a layout line on the outside faces of the back legs 20 inches up from their bottom ends. Clamp the back of the arms to the back legs so the arms are aligned with the layout lines you just drew. The inside front edges of the arms should overhang the inside faces of the front legs by about 3/4 to 1 inch. Drive 3 countersunk 2-inch screws down through the arms and into the front legs to secure the arms in front. Then use a long 1/4-inch drill bit to carefully drill through the back ends of the arms and through the back legs. Center these holes on the lengths of the arm notches. Tap in a 3.5-inch carriage bolt here and secure it with a washer, lock washer, and nut. You can draw the pear-shaped arm braces either onto a dedicated template or onto one of the 2 workpieces, and then cut it out and use that as a pattern for tracing the second support. Cut and route the supports to final shape. Attach the arm supports to the arms and front legs with some screws and your chair is done. You can finish it if you'd like with clear deck preservative, paint, or spar varnish, or just let it weather out to a shade of silvery gray. Adirondack chairs are classic yard projects and they're fun for any skill level. And this plan from Woodworkers Journal's archives is as relevant today as it was when it first appeared in our pages. I hope you'll consider building a few of these chairs for your yard, and thanks for watching.